Hello, good morning, wherever you are joining. This is the final take with me, Seni MK Marina, live from our virtual studios here in Seattle. Today, my special guest is Dr. Hitter Armstrong, animal rights champion and executive director and co-founder of the Gambia Horse and Donkey Trust, a movement that dedicated over decades of years in championing and protecting the rights of animals in the Gambia. Dr. Armstrong will, discuss with me about working horses and donkeys, the unsung heroes of the Gambian rural life, and how his organization is changing their fate. He will be joining me live from his home in the United Kingdom. Before then, we'll take a quick break. When we are back, we'll introduce our guest, our special guest for that matter. This is her first major public media interview since she was crowned member of the British Empire by King Charles of the United Kingdom.
Tune into the final take with MK Marina every Saturday on the Alcamba Times and experience extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news. Tune into the final take with MK Marina every Saturday on the Alcamba Times and experience extensive conversations on a variety of topics, including national and international headlines, breaking issues, and major developments in politics, business, innovation, science, and sports, along with inspiring stories and expert analysis to provide a comprehensive understanding of the news.
Welcome back to the final take with me, Seni MK Marina. Wherever you are joining us, this is the final take. Today we have a special guest, Dr. Hitter Armstrong, animal rights champion and the executive director and co-founder of the Gambia Horse and Donkey Trust. Dr. Hitter, welcome to the final take with me, Seni Marina, from your base in London.
Thank you very much indeed. It's a great honor to be here.
Thank you. Let's begin this conversation. Dr. Armstrong, could you start by sharing a bit about your journey into animal welfare? What inspired you to co-found the Gambia Horse and Donkey Trust, and how has background as a veterinarian shaped your work in the Gambia?
Well, I really, coming from the family that I came from, I didn't have a choice. My parents were passionate animal lovers, and my father was doing a lot of work with wildlife as I was growing up. So all of the family were incredible animal lovers, and it just was a natural thing. I was passionate about horses in particular, and my sister worked with chimpanzees. And I went in fact, it was with the Glasgow vets who were working with Sir Dawda Jawara, doing research and setting up ITC. And they started to train me how to take blood samples from the horses. And that got me going on a veterinary nursing career and then a vet career. Are you hearing me?
Are you there?
Yeah. Did
Yes,
you
I am
hear?
hearing you very well. Go ahead.
Yeah. Did you hear what I said about setting up?
Yes, through your sister who helped set up ITC in the Gambia. Go ahead.
No, it was the Glasgow Veterinary College with Sadauda Juara, who set up ITC, and they started to train me how to look after the horses, the Gambian working horses. And that's how I started. Yeah.
Okay. Your organization has been operating for over a decade. Can you describe the initial challenges you face when starting the organization in the Gambia, and how has the local community responded at the onset?
Well, we've actually been going for almost a quarter of a century now. I think it's 24 years since we started. Initially, we started in Sambalkunda. And it worked well. We were treating animals and working with the local people. But to me, it became apparent that we needed to work with the young people and the university and college. Things started to change when we worked with the students and university, the college students and university students. So I set up a new center at Makasutu about 10 years ago. And since then, things have really changed big time. When I started the charity, I said I would give it 20 years to see if it would make a difference. And I think now I can't retire because it's made such a big difference that, yeah.
Absolutely.
So most of our...
Doctor, you are very passionate. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, no, our most of our work now is with students and down near the coast. So we still work up in CRR, but the focus of our work is down near the university and the college.
Can you hear me?
No, there's silence.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I said you are very passionate about animals' welfare in the country. You have also supported a lot of rural farmers on how to care for their animals, providing them with the necessary knowledge and also providing them with guidance, in order to make this useful to them. Share your experience with us working with rural farmers and how your organization has changed their livelihood by protecting and promoting the rights of these animals, in the rural Gambia, especially in CRR.
Well, when we first started, Gambians were spending a lot of money to buy a horse or a donkey, and very quickly, within 6 months sometimes, those animals would die, partly because they didn't know how to look after them, partly because the Gambia doesn't have the veterinary capacity to look after them. they're very short on qualified vets. So for the people, really, we needed to help them because they were making a big investment and losing it very quickly. I'm passionate about animals, but I'm passionate about people too. So yeah, by teaching them just basic things about feeding, care, harnessing, if the harness is wounding the animal, it can't work properly. We found that it can help the farmers a great deal. So, yeah.
And your organization was able to provide this harness to those farmers, right?
Yeah, we provide harness. What we don't want to do is change too much, but make what they have better. So, and teaching them how to load the carts and balance the carts correctly and so on. Then we started a donkey project where for the farmers who are too poor to even afford a donkey, we will give them a donkey. They have to come to us for training for 3 days, and we will monitor that donkey throughout its life. Our first donkeys now are coming back to us for retirement. But for those people, we found that it increased their income by 500%, just having a healthy working donkey. So it makes a big difference. I've lost you again.
With proper care.
Yeah.
Yes, I got you. I can hear you.
There seems to be a time lapse.
I said those initiatives, this has led to increase in productivity of these animals, right?
Yes.
Because they've been careful.
Yeah. When they're well cared for and well fed and so on, it increases their productivity. So and helps the farmer a lot. It increases the farmer's income by up to 500%.
Can you hear me, doctor? It seems we're having an issue with
I wasn't hearing
the
you
connections.
then.
It's breaking so badly that I can hear your answers.
I can hear you now. I just heard you then.
Yes, my apologies for that. I have trouble with my connection, so sometimes it breaks. I can hear you, but if you are there, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Sorry. You mentioned walking horses and donkeys play a very vital role in Ghanaian agriculture and transportation. What are some of the most common issues this animal face, and how does GHDT address them through veterinary care, education, and community outreach?
I think the major problem farmers have is when their animals do get sick, they have nobody to turn to. The Department of Livestock Services trains paravets, but they're very few and far between. And sometimes if they're called, either their motorbikes aren't working, or it's quite difficult. So we reach the people in CRR, and more now as the charity grows. When there are very bad cases, we've even had horses brought in by lorry from Basse and places like that. But we need to train more people to help the farmers.
Mm-hmm. Recently, you have been involved personally going to Bakote dump site to help some of these horses and donkeys that have been used by their owners for transportation and business. And we are not happy with the way and manner the owners were treating these animals, and they were a source of income for them. You offer them free health care, treating their animals free of charge. What's your experience working with those animal owners, and what message do you have for them after that pro bono service you provided with your team of volunteers for a whole day?
Well, we're planning a big project for the dump donkeys. It's a very complex problem. Most of the people who are working with the dump donkeys are from Mali. They're not Gambians. And a lot of them are quite poor themselves. And some of them can be very rude and very arrogant and very hard on their donkeys. Every day I get complaints from Gambians, tourists, expatriates living there on how badly the donkeys are being beaten and so on. Recently, you will remember that we actually prosecuted one donkey owner. It was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, he
I wanted to ask that question. Yeah. Yes.
Jamba.
Yes.
But I tell you something, that worked. That helped a lot, because I was in Gambia only 10 days ago, and we went down to check the dump donkeys where they park them, and they are in so much better condition now.
Wow.
It has made a big difference. Yeah. But in addition to that, we have a big project coming up where we want to work with the donkeys, but we want to work with the owners to educate them some more, so that they in turn can get better productivity. So we're working with KMC, with the mayor, and we're also working with Department of Livestock Services. And we have 2 people now at the dump site more or less all the time, offering help to the donkeys. I think we're going to register, or KMC is going to register every single donkey cart, and they will have a number. So it's very easy to identify the people who are abusing their donkeys. But at the same time, we'll give them new harnesses, new bits, new head collars, and give them as much help as we can. So hopefully things will improve.
Tell us about that landmark donkey case. It was a big news out there because it's unprecedented. We hardly hear the owners be taken to court. But the organization play a key role in that conviction. Tell us about that, and what message to others who are very cruel to their animals in the country,
a lot of
like donkey owners, horse owners.
A lot of it is not actually cruelty. It is not lack of understanding and lack of education. I remember once being very upset when I saw a donkey that had been badly beaten in Kuntaur. And she, a lovely donkey, she'd been beaten till she looked like raw meat on her backside. And I was very upset. And a Gambian man came up to me and he said, "Please don't be upset. Donkeys don't feel pain, so it's not as bad as it looks. You know, they just don't feel pain." So I took his arm, poor man, I hope he's forgiven me, and I pinched it and he jumped. So I then went to the donkey and I pinched the donkey and she jumped. So I said, "Tell me the difference between what you felt and what the donkey felt."
That's a very interesting experiment.
And he did forgive me afterwards. I did apologize and said, "You know, I just had to prove my point."
Yeah. I like that.
So, yeah, I mean, they're beginning to understand, but there is a local thought that donkeys don't feel pain, so they don't seem to understand that. A lot of them, more and more now, are understanding and bringing donkeys to us every day at Makasutu just for a checkup or to have the feet trimmed. The whole way of thinking is changing now.
You have treated thousands of animals and trained over 1,000 students and technicians. Can you highlight a particular memorable success story from GHDT that demonstrates real-world impact on both animals and their owners?
Oh gosh, there's so many of them. I remember one project donkey called Heidi, and we knew her as the kicking machine because Heidi. My goodness, did that donkey kick. And we'd given her out to a farmer in Karantaba, I think it was. And I used to go out and check them every 3 or 4 months. And I went, and Heidi was living in the farmer's old house, and he now had a new house with a corrugated iron roof and everything else. And he just said, "Heidi bought this for me, you know, because of Heidi." So he now had given her his old house. He thought she deserved it. And he was now living in a very smart new house. So that's probably a typical example of a donkey helping its owner. The other example was the horse who actually founded the charity, who he had been so weak.
Amazing. Your work, okay, go ahead.
I was just telling you about the horse that founded the charity. He'd been so weak that he'd fallen over, and when he fell over, he fell onto a fire, and he couldn't get up. And Stella, this was before we started the charity, my sister Stella went off to try and find a vet to euthanize the horse because it was in such a bad way. His hips were even coming through his skin. He was so thin. And she came back 4 days later. She had to go to Combos and find a vet and come back. And by then the horse was standing up, and she'd left some food and water and told them what to do. That horse went on to become, I'll have to send you a picture of him, a beautiful big black stallion. He was called Lazarus. I don't know how familiar you are with the Bible, but Lazarus rose again from the dead, which he did. And he lived with us for 18 years. But he was our hero, our motto, our everything else. So it was due to one horse, really, that GHDT was founded.
And rescue. That's very interesting, and congratulations for changing the life of many animals and their owners in rural country. Doctor, you came from a very respected conservationist family. Your late dad was a Gambian pioneer, conservationist who has created, the chimpanzee center in Sambikunda, all the way in CRR, close to the river in around Kuntauro, and also, very close to Kudang, where I come from. Tell us how your father's love for environment and animals inspire you to do more decades after his death. Are you keeping your father's legacy in that area? And tell us more about your father, the later Bruno.
Pa Brewer. He was an incredible man. He was an incredible man. He came to the Gambia as a forestry officer. When he set up the wildlife department with Sadauda Juara, he was called, years ago, he was called by the Manjagos in Lamin to go and shoot a leopard because it was killing their livestock. And when he saw the water catchment area at Abuko, he said, it's your pigs that are trespassing in the water catchment area. Yeah, in Abuko. And, the leopard has every right to live there. So he contacted Sadauda Juara, and together they decided to set up
the former president.
The former president. Sadauda Juara. Sadauda also was a vet, and he trained at Glasgow University. So, but
yeah,
he and my father sort of established the Department of Wildlife and Abuko. And Abuko was very successful in its time. We had a lot of tourists there. He did a lot of things. He also introduced the beautiful mangoes we have in the Gambia now. He came to visit me. I was living in the Caribbean for a while, and he tasted the mangoes there, and he said, we have to grow these in the Gambia. So he set up the mango growing business in the Gambia. And now, anytime there are Gambian mangoes in the supermarkets in UK, the word goes round, go and buy the mangoes quickly. So, and he also set up beekeeping, which is very successful. And we use a lot of the honey from Nyambai to treat our animals. We use it as medication. So his legacy lives on.
Right. Wow. Interesting. And now that your dad is no more, but you and your family are doing everything to support animals back home in the Gambia. And then I'm coming to talk about your recent recognition, which is very huge and landmark. Congratulations once again, Charles.
Thank you.
For your lifelong dedication to animal welfare. What does this honor mean to you personally, and how do you think it will amplify your organization mission in the country?
Well, it's always nice to have recognition, and I think it helps. The honor really, I accepted it.
Did you get my question?
About the recognition. Hello?
Yes, did you get my question about your award?
The award was given to me.
And how does this honor mean to you personally, and how? Go ahead.
It means a lot to me, and I'm very honored to receive it. And it was wonderful to meet the King. But I wouldn't have got that award without my staff. It is my staff and the team that got the honor. So I accept it on their behalf. It wasn't just for me. You know, we wouldn't be where we are without our fantastic staff.
How did the King about your work all the way down in rural Gambia?
Well, Stella was working.
Awarded an MBE from the King is not a small feat, and you must have done extraordinary work before a King can award someone MBE.
I think it's just being there. The wonderful thing was he was asking me a lot of questions about it. And also his sister, Princess Anne, knows about our work too. And I was very gratified that he was asking, how is it doing? You know, are you seeing results? And so on. It was lovely. And I was able to tell him it was teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. After you believe it's because of the teamwork that you were recognized globally. What is the secret behind the success of teamwork at your organization?
Oh, that's a tough one. You know, the whole organization is run with volunteers. We're all volunteers. I'm a volunteer. I've never taken one batoot of money from the charity. And we rely on volunteer vets coming from UK to educate and train our staff. Sorry, did you say something?
No. You said you are all volunteers and you rely on, I said, donations to run the operation of your organization, right?
Yeah, donations, but also volunteer vets. And we ask all the vets to leave a little bit of knowledge. They get a lot of experience with us, but they have to train our staff. And the wonderful thing now is that our staff are so well trained that they are training British veterinary students and students from Europe and so on. The whole thing has changed now. And a lot of the cases that we see, vets in UK would never see because they're so bad, you know, fractured legs and really bad wounds and so on. And our staff know how to treat them. and they do it very well, very well.
You have trained a lot of young Gambians to take up para vet roles, where if animal owners, have issues with their animals, they just a call and they are available to treat them. Are these people also volunteers, or they are paid for their services? Because we have seen a lot of committed young people, especially from rural Gambia, who have now moved from maybe a mere security or a mere a messenger to fully para, medics with your organization. How much commitment do you put into training those young Gambians to help in animal welfare initiatives in the country?
Well, all I have to say, all our Gambian staff are paid. They're not volunteers. It's all the training and admin staff who are volunteers. Okay. All our Gambian staff receive salaries. We work with the Department of Livestock Services and the Gambia College and University, but they all come to us for practical training. And then most of them are employed by the Department of Livestock Services afterwards and then redeployed around the country. Several members of our staff have decided to go it alone, and they leave our services and set themselves up in practice, and they're earning very good livings looking after animals. And I'm very happy for that. That's what they were trained for, was to help animals. And if they're using their training for that, I have no problems at all with that. But most of the people that we train are employed by the government.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Are you there?
Yeah. I lost you altogether. I couldn't see or hear you for a minute there.
Doctor, hear me?
Are you there?
Hello, doctor. Can you hear me?
I can hear you
yes,
now.
Yes, I am here. I just have a little interaction. Can you hear now?
Yep, I can.
Okay. Yes, I'm asking, animal welfare in developing countries like the Gambia often intersects with economic realities for owners. What ongoing challenges does your organization face, such as funding, as we talk about, cultural perception, or climate-related issues, and how are you tackling them?
Fundraising is getting increasingly difficult. But in the Gambia, I honestly do feel we are leading the way in animal welfare, certainly in the whole of West Africa and possibly in the whole of Africa. We have incredible people like Dr. Dafe, Dr. Keba Dafe, who I call Dr. Animal Welfare. And we have a whole lot of young people who've set up an organization called the Animal Welfare advocates. There are changes in cultural perception too. You know, when we first started, nobody would accept euthanasia in their animals. You know, they said it had to be the will of Allah. And I've always tried to respect people's beliefs and views on that. Sometimes it's very difficult because you know that animal cannot survive. But gradually over the years, people have started to trust us. And if we say that the animal can't survive now, they will accept euthanasia. But by listening to people and respecting their views, we also have learned a great deal, because sometimes the animals that we thought could not survive do survive and do get better. So we've learned a lot ourselves, and the culture now is changing, and people are, for example, if a donkey gets old and they can no longer work it, and then they can't afford to feed it, they sometimes will either bring they will bring the donkey to us rather than put it out in the bush. So that's changing. The other thing is castrating donkeys. You know, male donkeys fight very badly and injure each other very badly. But now people are asking us to castrate them because they know if they're castrated, they live better together, and they don't fight and don't get badly injured. So certain things are changing. Climate change is a big, big, big worry, because feed for the animals is getting very, very difficult. So far, we've managed to get away with it. A couple of rainy seasons, there hasn't been enough hay, and I've actually imported food from UK to feed the animals, just to keep them alive, really. But it is a big concern for me what is going to happen. Yeah, it is a very big concern.
Interesting. Looking ahead, Dr. Armstrong, the organization plan for expansion, perhaps in areas like building more clinics, enhancing educational programs, or partnering with local government, because I believe that government also have a role to play in terms of promoting and protecting the welfare of animals, like your organization is doing. Do you have partnership with government? And if no, do you have plans to engage them to ensure that animal welfare is respected in the country? We have seen that you have been working alongside with prominent animal welfare advocates like Dr. Duffy and his team of students, across the country. But are you in partnership with government to ensure that, the issue of animals' right is respected? We have a legal framework in place to protect these animals from abuse and neglect.
Yeah, we work very closely with the Department of Livestock Services, and the two doctors, Cisse, Dr. Abdou Cisse is the director, and Dr. Usman Cisse is deputy director. We work with them on a lot of things. For example, at the moment, we're seeing more and more dogs with rabies in our area. So we're planning a big vaccination campaign. And they've always been absolutely wonderful, very helpful, very supportive. I can't complain at all about that. They've been very, very good to us. So, yeah, no problems there.
clinic and enhancing educational program for young people who are interested in animal welfare areas.
I didn't catch the first part of that question.
No, I'm saying perhaps you are looking forward to expanding your services to other parts of the country. Are you hoping to build clinics and also enhancing educational program to animal owners and advocates in the animal welfare domain?
I think what I would like to do is do what we're doing better before we expand. So I keep saying to my staff, I don't want our centre to be good just in the Gambia. I want it to be good by international standards. And when we're at that stage, then we can go out and take teams around the country. I don't think building more clinics will be beneficial. If we can get better trained staff out into rural areas and then just bring the very sick animals to us, because Gambia is such a small country, I think that would make better economic sense.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. But I want us to be the best.
I agree with you. For young Gambians, yeah, absolutely. So for young Gambians interested in animal welfare or veterinary careers, what advice would you give them based on your experience, and how can they get involved with organizations like GHDT, your organization?
Just come and see us. You know, we welcome visitors, any visitors, Gambian visitors, tourists. I think anybody should be able to come and see what we're doing and how we're doing it. And we have quite a lot of young people coming to volunteer their services. A lot of the students come and volunteer and learn at the same time. At weekends, for example, we have a whole lot of children coming with their dogs. They come with so many dogs. You know, if the dog's got a sore ear or something. And what we do is not just treat the dog, but tell the children, here's a bowl with antiseptic, you clean your dog's ear. And I think the kids just like to come and sit and talk dog with their friends and with the staff and so on. So
you involve them in the care of their animals.
Yes, yeah.
You involve them to care by providing them the necessary,
and they will get a new collar and lead for their dog and so on. And we do little training classes for them as well. So, yeah, we welcome them. I mean, 2 or 3 of our ex-staff are here in UK working with racehorses. You know, they've gone on to great career things. 2 boys from Sandbell are here in UK working with the top racehorses in Britain. So they get good training, and if you involve people. What is that saying? Teach me and I will learn. Show me, I will understand, or involve me and I will understand. And they do, you know, I love the yard at Sambal Kunda. It's full of people all learning and helping and so on. Yeah, it's good.
Doctor, almost at the tail end of the interview, but before I let you, as a advocate, what message do you have for our audience about the importance of animal rights
I didn't.
development. What message do you have for our audience about the importance of animal rights in building a compassionate society, especially in the context of... You didn't get the answer? You didn't get the question, sorry.
I didn't get the question, no, sorry. You were breaking up a bit there.
Yeah, okay. Little bit, yeah, I understand. I'm saying finally, as a global advocate, what message do you have for our audience about the importance of animal rights in building a compassionate society, especially in the context of Gambia's development?
I think developing a sense of empathy and compassion for anybody makes any individual a better person. You know, if you can have empathy for an animal that's suffering, you can have empathy for a fellow human being. And, you know, now we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot because so many people are calling us, Gambians, calling us to help an animal. And it not only helps that animal, it helps that person. They feel good about themselves that they helped somebody else. So I think having a sense of empathy is a good thing for a nation.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, did you not hear me? I answered it. Were you not hearing me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was saying, I think having a sense of empathy and compassion.
I can hear you. Go ahead.
I think having a sense of empathy and compassion makes a country better. You know, if more individuals, well, it's like the walk for peace, kindness and compassion. And having it for animals will help the nation.
Absolutely. Many thanks for that brilliant answers. For those tuning in, this is the final take with me, Seni Marina. In the studio today, we have a veteran. I will call him an animal rights champion, Dr. Heather Armstrong, who has been advocating for the welfare of animals in the country for many, many years. We have been talking about his work with horse and donkey trusts in the country, and also his father's legacy. We know his father has been working. He's the pioneer of Abuko Nature Reserve. He worked with their late elder statesman, Sir Dauda Kairaba Jawara, so that our country is respected in animal welfare issues globally. And the Banjul Declaration was part of the work of Sir Dauda and his Armstrong. Final message to Gambians watching this show before I let you go. What message do you have for Gambians? There has been a lot of, you said in your statement that people think that donkeys or horses are not human and therefore they don't feel pain. But after making an explainer, you pinch a man and pinch a donkey, then you ask him, how do you feel? That question, I still keep thinking about it. So what message do you have for people who think donkeys are not human or they don't feel pain?
Donkeys are very intelligent, clever little animals, and we need to learn to respect them. I think all animals And Gambia is changing. The young people are changing the Gambia, and there is better understanding. And I'm really, really, really hopeful that we will be the best country in Africa on animal welfare. You know, the animal advocates are doing a fantastic job, and I congratulate them on all that they have achieved. And we're getting there. We're getting there.
Inshallah. Yeah. Right. Thank you very much, Dr. Armstrong, for finding time to join the final take with me, Seni MK Marina. It's always great to talk to you, and I will say keep up the good work with your team in promoting and protecting the welfare of animals in the country. Your work has earned you global recognition. King Charles, recognize you, give you MBE, member of the British Empire, because of your work with animals back home in the Gambia. So keep up the great work, and looking forward to having many conversations with you in the future.
Thank you very much indeed for having me. It's a great honor, and good to meet you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you very much for that. That's bringing me to the episode with me, Seni Marina. We apologize for interruption in our internet connection. Hopefully we'll be able to fix it in our next edition. I do enjoy the rest of your week and follow our exciting episode or any program coming along your way. Tomorrow, March 8th, it's a International Women's Day, and then we have a special digital cover celebrating the life of Gambian women in different fields. So grab a copy of our digital copy tomorrow. We'll be releasing it to celebrate our women on the International Women's Day, which is celebrated every March globally. Until then, do have a pleasant Saturday and enjoy the rest of our programs on the Alcamba Times. Bye-bye for now.